Yogic meditation is a very practical and almost somewhat scientific method of working with our mind, our thoughts, and also understanding consciousness and reality on a deeper level. And I'm going to explain simply how to understand this ancient meditation technique. Before getting into it, I'm Ellis. I'm one of the lead instructors with MindMo. If you're interested in more education and trainings in mindfulness-based practices like breathwork, meditation, and even certification programs, click the links below. Yogic meditation comes largely from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. It is the foundational text of meditative yogic practices. And this was written around 200 BCE to 200 CE. What is outlined in this text is an 8-limb system for reaching samadhi, which is essentially realization of who we are on the deepest level. So in this system, what we see is early on sort of moral and ethical observances, and then moves into postures, essentially how you sit in meditation for a long time, breath practices, and drawing the attention inward, and then eventually move into dharana, dhyana, and then that leads to samadhi, which again is this realization of who we are on a deeper level. So according to Patanjali, dhyana is the sustained, unbroken flow of awareness towards a chosen object. That's explained in the Yoga Sutras. So dharana is concentration of the mind on one place or object. So what's important to understand about yogic meditation is that dharana is this practice of concentrating on one specific object. We're bringing our mind to that object over and over and over. And then once there's an unbroken flow of awareness on that object, dhyana, which is often translated as meditation, occurs. So meditation is, in modern times, we think of it kind of as a combination of dharana and dhyana. In the Yoga Sutras, it points out that meditative states are actually when there's an uninterrupted flow of that focus on an object. So the next thing to think about is, okay, well, what do you focus on? What is an object to focus on? The Yoga Sutras talks about focusing on Ishvara, which is essentially sort of the divine. And one common way of doing this is with this mantra, Om. It's important to understand that repeating Om and focusing on Ishvara does not mean you have to be Hindu necessarily. You could, but it's very much not limited to a specific understanding of that. But that's very clearly explained as one object option. But also, what's really cool about the Yoga Sutras is it outlines that, or by meditation upon any object that one finds elevating or suitable to one's disposition. And this is why yoga and yogic meditation can really be practiced by anyone, because this object can be really anything. Now, of course, there are typical objects, like I just said, Om, sort of that mantra or sound, or it could be something like the light of a candle or a specific awareness in the body. But of course, it could be something like the breath, or it could be something like another sound or another saying. So focusing uninterruptedly on that one object of your choosing leads to dhyana, which is that meditative state. And really what ends up happening is when we have that uninterrupted flow of awareness on that object, the sense of separation, in a sense, dissolves. And what happens is the seer then abides in its own true nature. So by this uninterrupted flow of awareness on that object, basically, that's how that state of samadhi, where one becomes aware of their true nature, occurs. And so that, in essence, is yogic meditation. Of course, there's a lot of complexities to it. You could spend thousands of hours talking about this topic, but essentially, once you get into that concentrative state and have an uninterrupted flow of focus on that one object of your choosing, that can lead to this dissolving and awareness of your true nature.